Inflammation. It's a word we often hear, but rarely stop to truly understand. For most people, inflammation sounds like something that happens when you sprain an ankle or catch a cold. But the truth is, inflammation is far more complex. It's your body's natural defense system, a biological alarm designed to protect and heal you. Yet when this alarm stays on for too long, when inflammation becomes chronic, it silently damages the very tissues it was meant to protect. It's the hidden thread that connects many of the most serious diseases of our time: heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, and even depression. But here's the empowering part: you have more control over inflammation than you think. Your daily choices, what you eat, how you live, how you rest, can either fan the flames or calm the fire. And that means you can begin to reduce inflammation naturally, starting today with small, deliberate changes that add up to big results over time. Let's start with food, because food is not just calories. It's information for your body. Every bite you take sends a message to your cells. Some foods whisper peace, others shout war. Processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats tell your immune system to stay on high alert. They create an environment where inflammation thrives. But natural, whole foods, those grown from the earth and close to their original form, do the opposite. They calm the immune response, they quiet that biological alarm. Think of berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, tiny, delicious, and loaded with antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, those molecules that spark inflammation. Think of leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula. They deliver polyphenols that switch off inflammatory genes at the cellular level. And then there are the healthy fats. Omega-3s found in salmons, flax seeds, and walnuts. These fats aren't just fuel, they're natural anti-inflammatory messengers that tell your body, you can relax now, the threat is gone. Spices are another secret weapon. Turmeric, with its active compound curcumin, is one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories. A little bit of black pepper with it boosts its absorption and effectiveness. Ginger soothes not just the stomach, but the immune system too. Garlic, onions, and green tea. All these simple ingredients have profound effects when you make them part of your regular diet. But reducing inflammation isn't only about what's on your plate. It's also about what's in your life. Chronic stress, for example, keeps your body in a state of constant alert, releasing hormones that drive inflammation. Learning to breathe deeply, to meditate, or even to spend quiet time in nature resets that system. The body listens to the mind. When your mind is at peace, your body follows. Sleep is another pillar. While you sleep, your body repairs itself. It clears out inflammatory toxins, resets your immune system, and restores balance. When you sacrifice sleep, you're not just losing rest, you're inviting inflammation to stay. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours each night, and you'll give your body the time it needs to heal itself. Movement is medicine too. Regular physical activity lowers inflammatory markers in your blood. It doesn't have to be extreme. A 30-minute walk, a bit of yoga, or swimming. These simple movements activate your body's natural anti-inflammatory pathways. Exercise helps your cells use energy efficiently, and it signals your immune system to stand down when the work is done. Hydration is often overlooked, but it's essential. Water helps flush toxins that can trigger inflammation. Herbal teas like green tea or chamomile not only hydrate, but also deliver anti-inflammatory compounds directly. When you nourish your body this way, you're giving it the environment it needs to thrive. Let's also talk about the gut, because it's where most of your immune system lives. When your gut microbiome is healthy, it keeps inflammation under control. When it's out of balance, it can ignite it. Probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut help rebuild that healthy ecosystem inside you. Probiotic fibers from foods like garlic, leeks, and bananas feed the good bacteria that maintain that balance. And don't underestimate the power of connection. Loneliness and isolation have been shown to increase inflammation in the body, while love, laughter, and social connection reduce it. Human connection releases oxytocin, a hormone that literally calms inflammatory signals in your brain and body. So spending time with people you care about, sharing a meal, or even smiling at a stranger, these acts are not just emotional, they are biochemical medicine. The truth is, reducing inflammation naturally isn't about a single food, supplement, or magic trick. It's about a lifestyle that supports the body's natural ability to find equilibrium. When you align your daily habits, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you think With your body's natural rhythms, you create the conditions for healing. Your body already knows how to restore balance. It's built to do that. It just needs you to give it the right signals. And here's the beauty: once inflammation quiets down, energy returns. The mind clears. The body feels lighter, stronger, more resilient. You begin to feel the difference from the inside out. Not overnight, but steadily, as your cells respond to the care you give them. The foods you eat start to heal you. The air you breathe begins to calm you. The life you live begins to support you. Every small step, every healthier choice is a message to your body: I'm ready to heal. And when your body hears that message, it listens. It adapts. It begins to work for you, not against you. That's the true power of reducing inflammation naturally. It's not about fighting your body. It's about partnering with it. It's about trusting the incredible intelligence that's already within you, waiting for you to give it what it needs to do its job, to protect, to restore, and to help you thrive. When you think about healing, it's easy to imagine pills, procedures, or prescriptions. But healing doesn't always come from a pharmacy. The body itself is the greatest pharmacy you will ever have. It produces its own medicines, anti-inflammatory compounds, growth factors, antioxidants, when you nourish it the right way. And this is what makes natural healing so remarkable. You are not forcing your body to do something unnatural. You are simply unlocking what it already knows how to do. Inflammation, after all, is not the enemy. It's a messenger. It tells you that something inside needs attention. Chronic inflammation means that the message has been ignored for too long. And the only way to silence that alarm is to respond to what your body is asking for: care, rest, balance, and nourishment. Think of your body as a symphony. Every system, immune, digestive, hormonal, cardiovascular, plays an instrument. When one instrument is out of tune, the entire performance sounds off. Chronic inflammation is like a discordant note that won't stop playing. But when you bring your body back into harmony, every part begins to function with rhythm again. Your digestion improves. Your skin glows. Your energy stabilizes. Even your mood lifts, because inflammation doesn't just affect your body, it affects your mind. In fact, science now shows that chronic inflammation is one of the root causes of anxiety and depression. When inflammatory chemicals circulate in your body, they can disrupt neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood. That means when you eat an anti-inflammatory diet or move your body, you're not just healing your heart or your gut, you're healing your emotions too. You're creating mental clarity, emotional stability, and a sense of calm from within. Let's take a moment to understand how inflammation begins. It starts when your immune system detects a threat. Maybe an infection, maybe damaged tissue, or maybe a toxin from processed food or pollution. The immune system sends white blood cells and signaling molecules to the area, and you get redness, swelling, or pain. That's acute inflammation, normal, short-term, and necessary. It's how your body heals a wound or fights off a virus. But when the signal never turns off, when the immune system keeps sending those molecules even when there's no infection, that's when it becomes chronic. Over time, that silent inflammation, blood vessels, organs, and even DNA, but nature provides an antidote. For example, in extra virgin olive oil, there's a compound called olecanthal that acts like ibuprofen, but without side effects. It reduces inflammatory enzymes naturally. In green tea, you'll find EGCG, a powerful antioxidant that shuts down the production of inflammatory cytokines. In tomatoes, lycopene neutralizes free radicals that damage cells. In mushrooms, beta-glucans modulate your immune system, teaching it to stay calm when it overacts. Even something as simple as how you cook your food makes a difference. Frying and grilling at high temperatures create advanced glycation end products, AGs, that trigger inflammation. But steaming, boiling, or lightly sautéing preserves nutrients and keeps those inflammatory molecules away. Using herbs and spices like rosemary, oregano, and thyme doesn't just enhance flavor. It boosts anti-inflammatory activity in your bloodstream. The Mediterranean diet is a beautiful example of this principle in action. It's not a diet of restriction, it's a pattern of abundance. Fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, olive oil, and fish form its foundation. People who follow this way of eating consistently show lower levels of inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6. And it's not because of a single ingredient. It's the synergy of all of them working together, sending your body thousands of healing signals every day. Now imagine starting your morning with warm water and lemon to support your liver, then a breakfast of oatmeal topped with blueberries and walnuts. For lunch, maybe a salad full of leafy greens, cherry tomatoes, avocado, and olive oil. For dinner, grilled salmon with steamed broccoli and quinoa, seasoned with turmeric and garlic. These are not exotic or expensive foods. They're simple, accessible, and profoundly healing when eaten consistently. But healing doesn't stop with food. Think about your environment. The air you breathe can either fuel or reduce inflammation. Pollutants, cigarette smoke, and even household chemicals can irritate the lungs and blood vessels. Bringing plants into your home, improving ventilation, and spending time outdoors in clean air can support your respiratory health and calm inflammation throughout the body. Then there's light. Your body depends on natural light to regulate its internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. When you get morning sunlight, your brain releases hormones that improve alertness, mood, and metabolism. At night, darkness signals melatonin production, helping you rest and repair. But when you stare at screens late into the night, that blue light disrupts melatonin, increases cortisol, and fuels inflammation. Something simple as stepping outside for 10 minutes in the morning and dimming your screens an hour before bed can begin to restore your body's natural cycles. One of the most powerful but overlooked ways to reduce inflammation is through emotional healing. Emotional pain, grief, anger, fear, resentment creates biochemical stress. It triggers the same inflammatory pathways as physical injury. When we hold on to those emotions, the body holds on to inflammation. Practices like journaling, therapy, prayer, or mindfulness allow you to release that emotional burden. When you forgive, when you let go, when you find peace within, your cells literally mirror that state. The body calms down, inflammation subsides. Healing begins. Nature itself is a healer. There's growing research showing that spending time in green spaces lowers inflammatory markers. The Japanese call it forest bathing. When you walk in nature, breathing in the natural compounds released by trees, your body responds by reducing cortisol, lowering blood pressure, and quieting the immune system. It's not magic, it's biology. You were designed to live in rhythm with the natural world. When you reconnect with it, you restore balance. Hydration, too, plays a role beyond what most realize. Inflammation thickens the blood and slows down detoxification. Water helps flush out inflammatory molecules and supports your kidneys and liver. Even mild dehydration stresses the body. M for clean, filtered water throughout the day. Add slices of cucumber, lemon, or mint to make it refreshing and to add a touch of natural antioxidants. Let's not forget about the power of consistency. The body heals gradually, not instantly. You can't undo years of inflammation in a week. But every meal, every walk, every deep breath is a signal toward healing. Over time, these signals accumulate. You might notice that your joints ache less, your skin looks clearer, or your energy no longer crashes in the afternoon. These are signs that your body is responding. It's finding its rhythm again. There's also an important link between inflammation and blood sugar. When your blood sugar spikes repeatedly, from sugary drinks, refined carbohydrates, or overeating, your body releases insulin to bring it back down. Over time, cells become resistant to insulin and inflammation increases. But when you eat in a way that stabilizes blood sugar, by including fiber, protein, and healthy fats, you prevent that inflammatory cycle. Balanced meals are anti-inflammatory meals. Fermented foods deserve special mention here. They introduce beneficial bacteria into your gut, which help digest food, produce vitamins, and regulate immunity. A healthy gut barrier keeps toxins from leaking into your bloodstream, a condition known as leaky gut, which is a major driver of inflammation. Sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and miso are not just flavorful, they are alive with microbes that protect you. There's also something deeply healing about slowing down. In our modern world, we rush through meals, multitask, and rarely pause to breathe. But digestion begins not in the stomach, but in the mind. When you eat mindfully, appreciating each bite, your body releases enzymes and stomach acid in perfect harmony. This improves digestion and reduces bloating, both of which affect inflammation. So make eating a ritual. Sit down, breathe, taste your food. Give your body the respect it deserves. Supplements can play a supportive role, but they're not substitutes for lifestyle. Omega-3 fish oil, curcumin, vitamin D, and magnesium are well studied for their anti-inflammatory benefits. Yet they work best when combined with real food and real movement. You cannot supplement your way out of poor habits, but you can enhance your natural healing through mindful supplementation guided by knowledge and consistency. And then there's the simple power of gratitude. It might sound abstract, but science shows that people who practice gratitude daily have lower inflammatory markers. When you focus on what's good in your life, your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to rest and repair. Gratitude changes your biology. It literally rewires your brain to perceive safety instead of threat. Social connection does the same. When you laugh, hug, or share stories, your body releases endorphins and oxytocin. These chemicals not only make you feel good, they turn off the inflammatory response. So healing happens not only in isolation, but in community. Your relationships are as much medicine as your meals. You can even look at your breath as a healing tool. Deep, slow breathing activates the vagus nerve, which directly reduces inflammation by calming the immune system. Breathing exercises, yoga, or even a few minutes of conscious breathing each day can make measurable differences in inflammation levels. You don't have to spend hours meditating. Just breathing with awareness sends powerful signals of calm throughout your body. The key is understanding that healing is holistic. Every system influences every other. Your heart, brain, gut, and immune system are constantly in conversation. When one heals, the others respond. That's why when you eat better, you think clearer. When you sleep better, your cravings change. When you move more, your mood lifts. Everything is connected. So imagine living in a way that supports those connections, eating the foods that love you back, moving with intention, resting deeply, and creating peace in your environment. Over time, inflammation fades into the background, replaced by vitality. You start to realize that health isn't the absence of disease, it's the presence of balance. It's the feeling of waking up with energy, moving without pain, and living with purpose. When you give your body the right conditions, whole foods, clean air, deep sleep, joyful movement, loving relationships, it responds with resilience. You don't need to fight your body. You just need to support it. You just need to remind it that it's safe, that it can heal, that it's allowed to rest. Inflammation is not a life sentence, it's a signal. And when you respond to that signal with care and wisdom, your body does what was always meant to do, heal itself naturally, gracefully, completely. When we begin to understand inflammation as communication, everything changes. The body is constantly talking to us in the language of signals. Pain, fatigue, stiffness, headaches, bloating, brain fog, skin flare, ups, even mood swings. Each one of these is not a random occurrence, it's the body's way of asking for alignment. Too often, we silence these signals with quick fixes, painkillers, caffeine, or distraction. But the wiser approach is to listen, because when you listen, you can respond. And when you respond with compassion rather than suppression, the body starts to heal. Imagine your body as a living ecosystem, much like a forest. Every tree, stream, and microorganism plays a role. When one part becomes polluted, the entire system suffers. Chronic inflammation is like an overgrowth of weeds that choke out the life-giving plants. You can't burn the forest down to fix it. You must nurture it back to balance. That's what reducing inflammation naturally is all about: restoration, not destruction. Think of what happens after you eat a meal loaded with processed food, refined sugar, white flour, and artificial oils. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin rushes in, and your immune system responds as if you've just been invaded. The lining of your blood vessels gets irritated, your liver works overtime, and free radicals multiply. This isn't a one-time event. If repeated daily, it becomes your body's default state. An internal fire that never quite burns out. But the moment you shift to natural, whole foods, the fire begins to cool. The gut microbiome changes, blood flow improves, and cellular repair begins. Nature gave us the tools to manage this. Take the humble apple, for instance. The pectin fiber in apples feeds beneficial gut bacteria that release short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. These compounds calm inflammation in the colon and strengthen the gut barrier. Or look at tomatoes and red bell peppers. Their carotenoids protect the skin and blood vessels from oxidative stress. Even dark chocolate, rich in flavonols, helps reduce inflammatory markers and improves circulation when consumed in moderation. Every color on your plate represents a different class of phytochemicals designed to protect your body. Red foods are rich in lycopene and anthocyanins. Orange and yellow foods contain carotenoids and vitamin C. Greens are full of chlorophyll, magnesium, and lutein. Purple and blue foods are packed with resveratrol and antioxidants that protect DNA. When your meals are colorful, your health is vibrant. When your meals are dull and monochromatic, your biology reflects that lack of diversity. The science of epigenetics adds another layer to this understanding. What you eat doesn't just affect your cells, it influences which genes get turned on or off. Certain foods literally silence inflammatory genes. For instance, sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts activates detox pathways that help neutralize inflammatory toxins. Green tea's catechins suppress NF-κB, one of the master switches of inflammation. Resveratrol from grapes and blueberries supports longevity genes that keep inflammation under control. This means your daily choices can rewrite your biological story. You're not just eating for energy. You're eating to shape your future health. And yet, food is just one pillar. The second is rest. Chronic sleep deprivation floods your body with inflammatory chemicals like interleukin-6 and CRP. In contrast, deep, consistent sleep lowers them. During sleep, your brain's glymphatic system flushes out inflammatory waste, including beta-amyloid proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's disease. That's why people who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours a night are at higher risk of heart disease, obesity, and cognitive decline, all rooted in inflammation. Creating good sleep hygiene isn't complicated. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Keep your room cool and dark. Avoid screens late at night. Allow yourself a moment of stillness before sleep, deep breathing, gratitude, or gentle stretching. These small rituals send a signal to your nervous system. It's time to repair, not react. Movement is another natural anti-inflammatory force. When you move, your muscles release molecules called myokines, which travel through the bloodstream to reduce inflammation in other organs. Exercise also enhances circulation, delivering oxygen and nutrients while carrying away toxins. You don't need to exhaust yourself. Even brisk walking for 30 minutes a day lowers inflammatory markers. Yoga, tai chi, swimming, or cycling all help. What matters is consistency and joy, finding a form of movement that feels natural to you, that reminds your body it's alive. The breath is perhaps the most direct way to influence inflammation in real time. When you take slow, deep breaths, your diaphragm stimulates the vagus nerve, the master regulator of the parasympathetic nervous system. This nerve directly tells your immune system to dial down inflammatory responses. You can feel this shift through your heart rate slows, your muscles relax, and your thoughts settle. The ancient practices of pranayama meditation and qigong were all built around this principle long before modern science could explain it. Stress, on the other hand, is one of the biggest accelerators of inflammation. The body doesn't differentiate between emotional stress and physical injury. To your immune system, being yelled at or overworked feels like being attacked. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is meant to help you respond to danger. But when it stays elevated, it turns against you. It increases blood sugar, weakens immunity, and triggers inflammation in arteries and organs. That's why stress management isn't a luxury, it's medicine. You can't remove all stress from life, but you can change how you meet it. Mindfulness, gratitude, spending time with loved ones, practicing hobbies, even simply laughing. All of these create a biochemical shift toward balance. Laughter, in fact, releases nitric oxide, which dilates blood vessels and reduces inflammation in the cardiovascular system. Joy itself is anti-inflammatory. Another factor often overlooked is exposure to environmental toxins. Plastics, pesticides, heavy metals, and air pollutants can all activate inflammatory pathways. The liver and kidneys are your body's detox organs, but when they're overloaded, toxins accumulate. Supporting them through hydration, cruciferous vegetables, herbs like milk thistle, and adequate sleep can help your body process and eliminate waste efficiently. Switching to natural cleaning products, filtering your water, and reducing plastic use can also reduce your toxic load. Let's talk about the rhythm of eating. Fasting, when done mindfully, is one of the most effective natural tools to reduce inflammation. When you give your body a break from constant digestion, it activates a process called autophagy, cellular housekeeping that clears out damaged components and reduces inflammatory molecules. Intermittent fasting, where you eat within a specific window each day, has been shown to lower CRP and improve insulin sensitivity. But it's not about deprivation. It's about restoration. The key is to nourish deeply during your eating hours, focusing on nutrient-dense foods rather than empty calories. Then there's the emotional side of food. Many people eat out of stress, loneliness, or habit rather than hunger. When we eat mindlessly, we disconnect from our body's cues and often choose inflammatory comfort foods. But when we eat mindfully, Savoring each bite, appreciating where the food came from, and listening to when we're full. We reconnect with our body's wisdom. That awareness alone reduces stress hormones and improves digestion. A community is another powerful but underestimated anti-inflammatory factor. Human beings are wired for connection. Studies show that people who maintain strong social ties have lower levels of inflammation and live longer, healthier lives. Isolation, on the other hand, increases inflammatory markers and weakens immunity. That means sharing a meal, joining a walking group, or simply talking to a friend is not just good for the soul, it's good for the body. Even the sounds around you matter. Calming music, the sound of waves, birds, or rain can lower stress hormones. Your nervous system responds instantly to sound frequencies. That's why silence, too, can be healing. It allows the body to reset from constant sensory stimulation. Posture and body alignment influence inflammation more than people realize. Sitting for long hours compresses blood vessels, slows lymphatic flow, and traps metabolic waste in tissues. Simple movement breaks. Standing up every 30 minutes, stretching, rotating your joints, keep circulation flowing. The lymphatic system, which removes toxins, doesn't have a pump like the heart. It relies on movement. Without it, inflammation builds up silently. Sunlight in moderation is another natural healer. When your skin absorbs sunlight, it produces vitamin D, a crucial hormone that regulates over 200 genes involved in inflammation and immunity. A deficiency in vitamin D is associated with chronic inflammation, fatigue, and weakened defenses. Just 15 to 20 minutes of early morning or late afternoon sunlight can make a meaningful difference. Gratitude, forgiveness, and self-compassion form the emotional foundation of anti-inflammatory living. When you hold anger or resentment, your body holds tension. That tension translates into inflammation. When you forgive, not for others, but for your own peace, you release that burden. Forgiveness, in a biological sense, is detoxification of the soul. Creativity is another underrated healing force. Painting, writing, singing, cooking, gardening, any act of creation quiets the analytical mind and activates flow states. In flow, inflammation markers drop, heart rate stabilizes, and time seems to disappear. You return to the present moment where healing always happens. Good health continues to be at the center of the inflammation conversation. The gut lining, only one cell thick, separates your inner world from the outer. When that barrier weakens, toxins, microbes, and undigested food particles leak into the bloodstream, triggering immune reactions. Supporting your gut with fiber, fermented foods, bone broth, and polyphenols rebuilds that barrier. Reducing processed food, alcohol, and stress prevents further damage. When you begin to make these changes, it's important to notice not just physical improvements, but also emotional ones. You might find yourself feeling more patient, lighter, more optimistic. That's because the inflammation that clouds your body also clouds your mind. As the fire subsides, clarity returns. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel progress, others days it may feel like you've taken a step back. But that's how nature heals. Cyclically, not perfectly. A trust that your body knows the way. Each cell in your body has intelligence. It listens to every input. Food, thought, movement, light, sound. When those inputs are nurturing, your body organizes itself toward balance. The immune system, often blamed for inflammation, is not the villain. It's your most loyal protector. It remembers every threat you've ever faced and stands ready to defend you. It simply needs proper instruction. Natural lifestyle habits give it that guidance, helping it distinguish between real and perceived danger. Reducing inflammation naturally is, in truth, an act of alignment. It's aligning your choices with your biology, your rhythms with the rhythms of the earth. It's remembering that you are not separate from nature. You are part of it. The same forces that heal the planet, clean air, sunlight, water, nourishment, a connection, are the forces that heal you. Each time you choose a whole food over a processed one, deep breathing over worry, movement over stagnation, sleep over screens, a gratitude over resentment, you are lowering inflammation. You are bringing your body back into balance. Healing is not a miracle. It is a series of choices repeated consistently, infused with awareness and care. As inflammation cools, your cells regenerate, your blood flows freely, your digestion harmonizes, your mind clears, and your heart opens. You become more than a collection of organs. You become an integrated, thriving human being. The spark of life within you burns steady and bright, no longer consumed by the hidden fires of inflammation, but fueled by the steady warmth of balance, vitality, and peace. The truth is, healing isn't about chasing quick fixes or silencing symptoms. It's about coming home to your body. Inflammation may have been your body's cry for help, but your response can be its song of renewal. Every meal you eat, every step you take, every breath you slow down for is a message to your body that says, I'm ready to live in harmony again. You hold the power to calm the fire within, not through fear, but through understanding, through consistent care, through honoring the natural intelligence that's been with you since birth. So start where you are. Make one better choice today. Let your food be your medicine, your thoughts be your peace, your movement be your celebration of life. Because when you live in alignment with nature, inflammation fades, energy returns, and healing begins, not as a miracle, but as the body's natural truth. Your body wants to heal, it's waiting for you to say yes.